In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Christ is in our midst. So for the children, where's the children? Raise your hand in the church if you are a child or young person under the age of legal age. I wanted to ask for the children today if they have any questions about Lent. Today is the last day before we start Great and Holy Lent, at the time before Easter. So I wanted to open up for them some questions to ask. If they have any questions, it can be about Lent, it can be about something else. But maybe if you want to just ask your mom or your dad, whoever's sitting next to you, your grandparent or whoever, and you can tell them so that they can convey that question maybe a little bit louder to me, and then I will repeat the question, and then hopefully I will be able to answer your question. So does anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand and then tell you, okay, you want to tell your mom, and then your mom can tell me? What do we do during Lent? Well, we do something, what do we do during Lent? It's 40 days, and we do what Jesus did during Lent. So we do everything in our lives that Jesus set up for us to do. So it's fasting, praying, trying to struggle with the things that we have difficulties with in our lives that we want to change, to forgive people, to grow and receive the sacraments of the church, so to receive communion during Lent. We try to do good things during Lent. So it's about trying to be, in a short sentence, what is Lent? Trying to be the best we can be before Easter. So trying to be the best person that we can be before Easter. And today is called Forgiveness Sunday. And today is the day where we're supposed to let go of the grudges that we have and the things that might be bothering us with other people, and also to ask for forgiveness from others around us too. So, for example, you have a sister, right? Has your sister ever punched you in the head? No? She has thumbs up. Okay. That means I'm going to take that as a big, enthusiastic, yes, I've gotten smacked in the head. So it's a time when we might fight with each other, adults and children, and it's a time for us to ask for forgiveness, to say, I'm sorry, and then to use the time during Lent to try and change. So if we have a problem with someone, to try and change during the Lenten season so that that problem doesn't become worse as time goes on, but that we can kind of put it away and say, you know what, I used to punch my sister or my brother in the head, I used to say bad words at work, I used to have this bad habit, and now I've pushed it away, and I'm trying to be the best that I can be before Easter. Okay? Any other questions? Got another question? You can ask your mom. Let me go around, and then you can ask your mom another question. That was a good question, though. Any other questions from the kids? That's fine. Just tell your mom, and then she can. So nobody has any questions. Everybody has got it. What about adults? Adult questions about Lent? Yes. How should children fast? Well, it depends on the age. It depends on the scenario. It depends on a lot of different things. But we should have restrictions on food and types of food. But I think for children, one of the things that we have to encourage with children during the Lenten season, how to fast, is also, like I said, trying to be the best that we can be. And a lot of times, behaviors from children to the oldest of adults is not becoming. It's not a good behavior. Sometimes things we do, sometimes are the way we act. And I'm sure if I ask for a raise of hands, which you don't have to do from the kids, how many times were you in the car with your dad when somebody cut in front of him, and your dad held up his hand with a particular signal or gesture or said something not so nice to the other person? So sometimes how to teach our children how to fast is also showing them that we are making the changes. So Saint Seraphim says that you can convert one person by what you say and 1,000 by how you live. So when we are talking about our children and always, maybe concerned about food and concerned about making them fast and come into communion, but if we're yelling at somebody in the parking lot, or we're arguing with our spouse, or we're saying negative things or watching horrible things on television as our children walk in, then we're erasing their ability to fast, and we're showing them something contrary. So we have to set the example. As parents, and even if you don't have children, you're still setting the example for people around you, the people who see you as an Orthodox Christian and say, what is this person doing? You think about behaviors that we show other people. If we're showing them something positive, they're going to say, that's great. Well, I want to be part of that. But if we're showing them something negative, they're going to say, what does this person call themselves? I mean, we see it all the time, and not to be political, but we see that many times with political figures, and people say, I can't believe that person's in politics when they think this way, or they do this, or they say that, and they've done this in their lifetime. And we're very quick to make those assessments, but we fail to realize that sometimes people look at us and the things that we're doing in our workplace, in school, with our siblings, with our parents, with our children, and they say, you know what? That person says that they're on the parish council, or they say that they're part of the Philopticos, or they say that they're an Orthodox Christian, or they say they're part of a youth program, or they're a teacher, or they're a philanthropist, or they're a priest. And look at how they behave. That can't be a good church. That can't be a good faith, because if they're doing that and they're saying that they're these people, then how much worse is it for the people who just show up? So we're all mirrors, and we all reflect either the good things or the bad things that we're doing. So Lent for all of us, from small children to adults, is trying to be the best that we can be before Easter. Letting the things go that drag us down, making the changes, challenging ourselves enough where it's a challenge, but not too much where it's a stumbling block. They say that if you see something in front of you, it's either a stumbling block that you'll trip on, or it's a stepping stone that you will use to get over and to move ahead. Lent is a stepping stone for us. It's not a stumbling block. But many times we see it just with one dimension, just one way, and we say it's food. And we're eating our food at the table, which could be, spinach and rice, or beans or whatever, and you're eating it and you're like, I don't like anything at my work, and these people, look at our neighbors and they just did this, and we're shoveling in fasting food and we're spitting out judgment. So that's why Christ says it's not so much what goes into our mouths, but what comes out of our mouths. And to discipline during Lent what we put into our mouths so that we can control what comes out. If you can't stop putting things in your mouth, how can you stop putting things out of your mouth? How can you stop saying things if you can't control what you put into your body? So it's about a discipline during this time, and it's about trying to be the example for all those around us and trying to make the changes that we know are problematic for us. So Vicki, do they have other questions? So I got it? So I got a thumbs up? Okay. Any other questions from any of the other? I'm sorry? Fasting, the word fasting means the opposite. And what I want to tell you is fasting means to slow down. Slow down in everything. Slow down in getting angry. Slow down in our food. Slow down when we say our prayers. Slow down in judging other people. Slow down in getting upset with things. So fasting is also a time for slowing down. Okay, does that help? All right, what about the SRO in the back? Anybody? Okay. The thumbs up. Okay, good. You get hit by your sister too, right? It's okay to laugh in church, just so you know. No SWAT team's going to come in and drag you out. So if somebody does something funny or says something funny, it's okay. I think it's a good place. So, no other questions? So we have our Lenten season starting. So what I challenge you to do is try and find the things that you're having a problem with. But do this year. Just try and find one thing. Look at yourself, take an inventory, think during the liturgy. What's my one problem that it's out of control in my life, or it's really weighing me down? And just pick that one thing to attack during Lent. Just one thing. If you pick everything, you're going to be outnumbered, and you're going to be, just kind of overburdened by the amount of change that you'll need to do. But if you pick one thing and you work on it, and you make that change, and you work diligently throughout Lent, when you get to the end, you're going to say, you know what, I did it. I made that one change. And you might think that's small. It's not small. Because if you think of the ship Titanic, everybody knows what happened to Titanic, right? But had it been 1 degree different from the time it left the dock, 1 degree different, we wouldn't even remember the name of that ship, because it would have missed the iceberg. 1 degree, that's all it takes. 1 degree, and you end up in a completely different place. Just think if you got on an airplane and you were flying to California, and you were going to fly into Los Angeles, and the pilot gets on there and he says, today I just want to welcome everyone to American Airlines Flight 62. Our navigation is off, and I'm thinking I can land, it's showing that we're going to be probably 1 degree off all the way there. You're going to end up in Tijuana or San Francisco or in the middle of the Pacific, or you don't know where that is, and it depends on which way you take off. 1 degree. So 1 degree for 4 hours, you're going to end up in a different place. But think about making the change in the right direction. 1 degree, one change for 40 days in your life. Think about where you will end up, and think about it and visualize where you want to be in 40 days with that problem. If it's language, you say, you know what, I have a bad problem. I'm always getting upset, and I'm using bad language, and I'm hurting people with my words. Then say at the end of 40 days, when I hold up my candle and I say, Christ is risen, that I have a handle of my tongue. And then work backwards from there and say, that's where I want to be. This is where I am. I'm going to work to get to that point. And if you know where you want to be, you can figure out how to get there with the help of the church. I'm here to help you with that. The church is here to help you with that. So if you have a problem and you don't know how to deal with it, come to me and just say, Father, this is my problem. I'm not going to judge you and say, I can't believe that you're doing this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you, read this particular saint. Check this out. Watch this particular video, or read this Bible verse, or try this to help you to get there. The church is here to help you get to the end with a change. Not to smash you down, not to stumble you, not to drop you and crush you and judge you. It's here to help you make that change, so that when you are here on apostasy and you say, Christ is risen, you say, you know what? I battled against something that was negative in my life, and with God's help and grace, I won. And you come out different. You come out resurrected as well. That's the goal for Lent. So fasting, a time for slowing down. Why we fast and why we have Lent is to be the best that we can be, and to make those changes so that when we say Christ is risen, that we are changed as well. Amen.